So I'm going to show you the exact outbound strategy that you need to develop in order to be able to achieve results just like this. As you can see here, this is actually a screenshot for my partner's calendar where he's booking 50 appointments every single week for his own marketing agency. On here, you have my personal calendar where I booked 647 sales calls just in the last year. And then below that, we have Elias, who's actually a member of my free community, who's booking 15 calls every single day. Right now, please tell me outbound doesn't work anymore. It does, but it does with the right approach. So in today's video, I essentially want to go over from scratch. I haven't planned anything at all, as you know, and create an outbound strategy so you can follow along. And then after this video, go back and create your own one. All right, so let's get right into it. So there's going to be several parts to this, and I urge you to watch all the way to the end of the video for this to make sense to you. So let's first start off with the first part, ideal customer profile, right? If you don't identify who your ideal customer is, you are essentially going to be driving the vehicle blind, right? A person who tries to go after everyone and everybody doesn't win, right? A person who understands who his or her ideal customer is the person that wins with this, right? We essentially need to have an understanding of who our ideal customer is, what they do, how they feel, what they tried before, what problems they have, what pain points they have, what dream outcomes they have, in order for this to be effective, right? Because this is not going to be effective without this. So, and then one more thing, right? You essentially attract, right? You essentially attract people through what types of message you have, what types of offers you have, what types of content assets that you have, right? What types of platform you're using to outreach to people, right? And if, let's say, your ideal customer profile is someone who makes like 10K per month, 50K per month with like their home improvement business, but your message is tailored to more of the ones that are, general contractors who make like 2K, 3K a month, and they just hate Facebook ads, then you're going to be attracting that type of person rather than your ideal customer profile. And the reason why a lot of people say, some of my leads are unqualified, people I get through my YouTube channel are unqualified, or people that I get through my ads are not qualified. Well, the main reason for that is because your messaging and your offer is not suited to directly be speaking to your ideal customer profile. So this is again why this part here is important, right? So on here, you essentially want to create a persona, right? You want to create a persona. It doesn't have to be real, but just describe your ideal customer profile, right? So for example, this is Joe, right? Joe runs a 25K a month home improvement business where he remodels kitchens. Joe has a team of 10 people. Some are his personal friends. Joe wants to be the boss. He wants to support his family, his team, and his friends. Every single day, Joe tries to ask for referrals, goes on Angie's Leads and Home Advisor to try and find new opportunities. Joe gets a lot of emails in his inbox from lead generation agencies that he chooses to ignore, but he still believes that marketing and paid advertising is the way he will be able to reach his goal. His goal being 50K a month, not relying on third-party lead providers, not gaining consistency in the business, and working with his dream clients. right? So this is Joe. This is my ideal customer profile. Then you want to understand the qualities of Joe, right? Or the qualities of your ideal customer profile. So for example, has $1,500 per month to spend on ads, has one appointment setter who dials leads. Joe is creative and can film ads when needed. Joe works his business around his offer. Joe has a lot of testimonials. Right, Joe is willing to make this work. Right, so this is essentially qualities that Joe has, and this is a description of Joe. Right, so you want to now basically everything that you do, every message that you write, every offer that you create is going to be basically centered around Joe's universe, right? Joe is the person that you want for your agency or let's say coaching business. The next thing we want to do is once we've come up with the qualities and kind of description of our ideal customer profile, we then want to do some actual and factual research, right, on our target audience. And a lot of people skip this step, and this is a huge problem because what you end up doing, right, or what most people end up doing is they go on YouTube, they see an outreach strategy for like Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook Messenger or Instagram, and they simply blatantly copy that message, right? They copy that message and they try to automate and send it out to as many people as possible. Well, the problem with that is because you haven't taken the time to research the target audience. You've simply followed someone else's word that this message works, right? What you want to do instead is to be able to come up with your own messaging, right? And in today's video, I'm not going to give you a message that you can copy because that would just be useless, but I'm going to give you a framework that you can follow in order to come up with your own messaging frameworks. But that messaging framework is going to only be good if you take the time to research your target audience, right? Because if you understand your target audience deeply, right, and I mean super, super deeply, then you will be able to craft a message that actually resonates with them, right? And this is the key to making outreach work, is to send a message at the right time and that message actually resonates with the person, right? So what you want to research is essentially the problems in the business. Problems in the business, right? When it comes to acquiring clients. And you want to understand, okay, what's the problem with Angie's leads, right? This is one way I know home improvement businesses acquire clients. What's the problem with Angie's leads, right? Leads are shared with competitors, expensive, and they price shop, right? They shop mainly on price. That's kind of what Angie's leads is. What's another way that they use that to acquire clients, right? Maybe referrals, right? It takes some time. It can be inconsistent, unpredictable, right? What's another way, right? Maybe cold calling, right? Cold calling and door-to-door sales. It can be time inefficient. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and could be expensive to have your own like sales development team. No promise that we would even get leads. Cool. Next thing we want to do is try to research and identify pains that are caused, right? Caused by these problems, right? How is Joe feeling? Well, he might be frustrated, right? He might be impatient. He might be desperate even. He sad and angry. Right? You can even go on and read reviews right? On Angie's Leads, you can go on Reddit, you can go on Quora, you can join Facebook groups that have your target audience within them, like home improvement people or home improvement businesses on Facebook groups. So many groups on Facebook, so make sure to go and see where your target audience or where Joe hangs out in, right? Next, you want to do what they tried before, right? They might have tried Facebook ads already, and then you want to see, okay, but why did Facebook ads not work for them? Well, maybe it's because the agency simply just provided leads and nothing else. The ad creatives were the same as everyone else. So obviously when you copy or when your ads look like your competitors' ads, it's not going to be as effective compared to you being actually creative with your Facebook ads. Right? What other things that they've tried before? Maybe they tried cold emails, right? Maybe they tried cold DMs, for example, right? Now you want to see what do they not want to do, right? They don't want to cold call. They don't want to manage leads. They don't want to deal with headache projects and clients. Next thing, what do they want, right? So maybe they just want appointments. They want a CRM. They want an appointment setter, right? They want a VA to handle logistics or admin work. Next thing, what is their goals, right? So put yourself in place of Joe, right? If you're making 25K a month, what's a reasonable goal, right? 25K a month is close to around 250,000 per year, or even less than that, 200,000. Don't trust my calculations, go back and fact check that. But yeah, let's say currently doing 25K per month. I want to get to 50K per month, essentially just double, right, what they're doing. They need 2 to 3 projects per month, right? An average ticket price within the home improvement space is like, let's say 10 grand. So in order for them to double their revenue, let's say they're doing 25K per month, that's around 2 to 3 projects per month that they're getting, right? So we need to get them 2 to 3 more projects, right? And this could start tying into our offer, right? Then what is their dreams? Never worry about lead gen again. Have a self-sustaining client acquisition system. Work with an agency that actually cares. Provide for their family and team members. Right. And I'm just writing all this based on my experience so far, but I do urge you to go and research about this in more detail in order to validate or research and understand Joe a bit more, right? So now once you've done this, right, you have your ideal customer profile in mind, you went and researched, right, different subsections such as the problems, the pains, what they tried before, what they don't want to do, what they want, what are their goals, what are their dreams, right? And then it then goes on to tie into your offer, right? So all of this information that you've just gathered ties into your offer. And a simple offer framework that you can use is as follows. We will, right, call or, right, what's their goal in the next, how long it's going to take without you, what they don't want, their pains, or risk reversal, plus additional bonus. Right? So this is your offer template, like a short form version of your offer template. So for example, it would be like, we will generate an extra 2 to 3 solid or qualified projects in the next 30 days without you dealing with bad Facebook ads, cold calls, Angie's leads, or price battle your competitors. Price battle you, or you simply don't pay us. We work pay on project basis. Plus, you will get 3 months of free work. Alright, so this is the offer. We will generate an extra 2 to 3 qualified projects in the next 30 days without you dealing with bad Facebook ads, doing any cold calls, Angie's leads, or price battling your competitors, or you simply don't pay us as we work on a pay on project basis. Plus, you will get 3 months of free work. Solid offer. I'm pretty sure Joe would take this up, right? If this is true, Joe will actually take this because he wants to double his business. How does he double his business? Well, he needs 2 to 3 qualified projects. What does he not want to do? He doesn't want to run bad Facebook ads, do any cold calls, and just leads. All right, so our offer means that he doesn't have to do any of these things. And what's a risk reversal, right? So we work on a pay on results basis, means if Joe doesn't close 2 to 3 qualified projects every 30 days, he simply just doesn't pay us, right? So there is no much risk for Joe to take up on this offer. Right? In worst case scenario, it fails. He doesn't pay us a single penny. He might lose a bit on Facebook ads, but you will work for 3 months for free with him, right? So not much risk to this. Now, the next thing you want to do is choose your outbound method, right? So when it comes to choosing your outbound method, you got to think about, where does Joe hang out? Right? What platforms does Joe use? Right? So if Joe is in home improvement, he probably uses Facebook ads, or not Facebook ads. He just uses Facebook, Instagram, right? And then email, right? That's it. This is where Joe hangs out in, right? And then you got to decide, okay, do I want to reach out to him via cold DMs or cold emails? Right? And there's pros and cons to both. And let me go over them right now. So with cold DMs, right, you can't really be hyper targeted. Right? Because you are essentially just DMing people based on their bio, right? And if in their bio it says contractor, that's great. You will target them, but that doesn't mean that they have enough money or they have a company that is big that they can afford your services. Right, so cold DMs, you can't really be hyper targeted, right? But it's easy to start with, right? It has a low barrier to entry. But then again, also as with cold DMs and cold emails, there's a lot of people in inboxes, right? So you really got to stand out with your message. And this is why we took the time to actually research and understand our customer profile, right? You can send up to 500 messages a day if you use automation software, right? Which is not bad, but you have to manually manage responses by logging in and out every single time, right? That's a problem. Like, I wish there was a Unibox for all of this. But with Instagram, for example, you have to log into every Instagram account to basically respond to leads, right? And then also the request tab can be a problem, right? If someone doesn't check their request tab, then they don't see our offer. With cold emails, right? Pros, you can reach up to 30,000 people per month and even more. So it's easily scalable, right? They have Unibox on instantly, so it's easy to actually manage your responses, right? But again, you have inbox saturation, right? So you really have to stand out. Can be expensive, right? Can be expensive, especially at scale. And also you have to deal with deliverability issues, right? Deliverability issues from time to time. Right, so these are kind of the pros and cons in general of both outbound strategies. So you just got to choose one, right? I would suggest maybe start off with one and then go on to try the other one and then have two outbound systems running every single day for you. But at the start, make sure to choose just one and focus on becoming the master of one, right? So become a master of cold DMs and then move on to try and become a master of cold emails. Don't try to multitask and do both at the same time. Trust me, it will become very, very confusing and difficult to do that. So once you've chosen whether you want to be reaching out to Joe on cold DMs or cold emails, you now want to create your messaging strategy, right? Message strategy. Now for both, right, cold emails and cold DMs, you need to spark curiosity, right? And the way you spark this curiosity is by asking a question or interrupting a pattern, right? So for example, for let's say cold DMs, it could be like need new projects, right? Or cold emails, it could be like curious if you guys take on new projects, right? This could be your first line, right? And the purpose of the first line is to essentially spark curiosity in order for them to go on to open your message and reply back to you, right? Or simply just open your message. Now for DMs, the first message that you would send is going to be that opening line, right? Need new projects, right? In order for them to get you out of the request tab. And then for cold emails, curious if you guys take on new projects, this is going to be the preview line. So they read that preview line, they get curious, and they open up your email. After this, right, so we have the curious or pattern breaker line. Then we have our offer, right? And in our offer, we want to get straight to the point. What's in it for them, right? So simply take the offer that you've created here and kind of reword it to kind of flow with the conversation here. Next, you want to have your call to action, right? So what should they do next? Reply or book a call, right? Usually you just want them to reply in a certain way. And then here, usually you can add a PS, right? And then you can clarify the offer, right? So clarify the offer. And this messaging framework can be implemented in cold DMs and cold emails, right? So if cold emails, you would essentially just write it all out at once. For cold DMs, you would split this up into sections, right? So with cold DMs, you would say, need new projects. They reply, yeah. You say, cool, send them the offer, right? And then if they get interested, then you tell them what they should do next. Should they watch a particular video? Should they book a call? What should they do next, right? And then clarify the offer again when you're asking for that book call. Now, you can approach outbound with different angles as well, right? So lead magnets, free service, free trial, or something, right? Something that they want, but does not have a huge entry point, right? So when it comes to lead magnets, free service, free trials, you got to think, okay, what do they actually want from me that I can give them for free without so much effort, that will basically give them a taster of what it is I do for them, right, as my main service. So for example, let's say with home improvement, I could say, hey, as my offer, hey, I'm willing to give you a case study that helped this and XYZ do this, right? A case study of your client. Or, hey, I could set up automations for you to do XYZ for you, right? For free, right? So you can either direct pitch them with your offer, or you can give them a freebie that they actually want, right? Both ways kind of work well with each other. And then at the end of the day, it's all about testing. So once you've crafted your messaging strategy, you then want to go on to set up your KPIs. And KPIs are super important because without them, you're essentially driving the vehicle blind, right? So what do you want your appointment booking rate to be? What do you want your positive response rate to be? What do you want your response rate to be, right? So for example, let's say appointment booking rate, I want it to be 1%, 5% here, and 4% here, right? I've set up my KPIs. So for every, let's say 100 messages, I get 4 responses and 1 booking, right? For every 100 messages, or for every 100 emails, right? Now, with cold emails, just to give you an idea, sorry, I have some notes here, that's why I'm kind of looking there, but with cold emails, usually you'd want to aim for a 0.5% appointment booking rate, right? From emails sent. Your positive response rate should be like, again, 5%, and your response rate should be anywhere from 2 to 4%. With cold GMs, it's a bit higher. Your appointment booking rate should be anywhere from 3 to 5%. Right, and that's what I get for myself and my clients, a 3 to 5% response rate, appointment booking rate. Positive response rate should be around 10 to 15%, and the response rate should be around 20%. Right, these are the metrics that you should be going for. Obviously, tailor them to your own needs, but this is what I am currently getting, right, for my agency, for Amplify, and for some of my other one-on-one clients. All right, so once you got your KPIs in set, right, what can you expect? Right, what can you expect from this? It's not going to be as if you're just going to run one campaign and you're going to book a lot of appointments. Right, it's going to take you a lot of testing to be able to get to your KPIs. But trust me, once you do, it's going to be amazing, and you're going to be able to scale your business fairly quickly. So it does not simply look like this, right? Your first message, and it's a winner. It looks more like this. Iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4, deliverability issues, account bans, iteration 5, iteration 6, right? This is what it's going to look like, right? Rather than this, it's going to look like this. And this is why most people fail at, outbound in general, is because they give up on here, right? They give up on here and they go and try to do something else, or they try to restart the whole thing, right? But you got to understand that it actually takes time, right? For myself, like, I'm not amazing, I can't do this, right? But I can achieve my winner after a 6th iteration or 5th, 7th iteration of my message, right? So you got to understand it's a long, well, not a long journey. It's probably going to take you like 2 months, right? 2.5 months to be able to find your winner, or be able to have a campaign that's consistently booking your appointments. But trust me, it's going to be worth it, right? So you got to keep in mind that it's all an iteration game, right? If you take a system, right, you have your inputs, right? You have your process, right? Your cold emails or your cold GMs, and then you have your outputs, and then you have your feedback loop, right? Your feedback loop. Every single time you get outputs, you read the data and you basically feed that back into your inputs, right? And you constantly make your inputs better and better and better until your outputs match your KPIs. Now, the last thing I want you to keep in mind is the technicalities, right? You got to constantly update yourself on email, spam rules, and social media updates, right? Because Facebook, Instagram, they update their stuff a lot. And if you're not up to date with those updates, then you're going to get your accounts banned and it's going to set you back, right? Or with emails, right? Recently, there's been a lot of deliverability issues in the email space. For people that don't know about it, they're sitting there wondering why their response rate has gone down, why they're not getting as good of results as they used to before. But for people who understand that, okay, there is something going on with deliverability, especially with the recent Outlook stuff that happened, they understand, okay, this is not my campaigns, this is not my messaging sequence, but it's actually the technicalities of the whole email ecosystem. And now I got to understand, how can I overcome this, right? How can I overcome all these technical difficulties? So just be sure to always, every single morning, just update yourself on any recent news regarding your platform, right? And always keep up to date with this. So yeah, this has literally been the whole outbound strategy. Please make sure to follow along on this video, rewind this all the way to the start, make sure to watch all the way to the end. I'm not giving this to you guys for you to mentally please yourself with this video. I'm giving this video to you as an action step. All right, so what I want you to do is actually take action on this and start figuring out your own outbound strategy. And again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you found value, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. I do have a free community. This is where Elias came in, who's booking 15 calls every single day right now. I'm going to pin one of my pinned comments is going to be a link to join. So make sure to join that free community. We're having winners every single day. I do have a free training on there from how to get from 0 to 10K per month. So make sure to check that out as well. But yeah, apart from that, if you enjoyed the video, I'm glad to help, and I'll see you guys on the next one.